Okay, well, here goes video number 2. I am making these videos for my daughter to show her some different jewelry making techniques. And now I'm just going to show a basic wiring a basic bead, and just with simple open end closure. So to start with, I have a 6mm Botswana agate bead. Put that right there. And I have the flat pliers, or regular pliers, that I've dipped in Tool Magic so that they don't nick the wire or damage the wire. I have a pair of round nose pliers. And I have a pair of side cutters, just for cutting the wire. And I have some 20 gauge wire here, and I like this artistic wire, non-tarnish silver plated wire. It's, for me, I prefer working with it over sterling silver. Simply because this is, as I'm being creative, if I don't like what I've done, I can nip it off and or snip it off and start over and not sweat that it's sterling silver. And it does really wear and look, I think, as good as sterling silver. So, okay, so to start, get these tools out of the way. I am going to take a 2-inch piece of my wire, of 20 gauge wire. Just cut that off there. Just a 2-inch piece. You could probably do a little bit shorter with this size bead, but this works for me because it gives me a little leverage when bending the wire, and it's easier to work with. So to start with, I'm going to just bend one end. And I like to use just a little bit over 1/4 of an inch for a small loop at the end. So I'm going to measure the end here and just going to bend it in a 90-degree angle. Just bend it in a 90-degree angle like that. So that's just a little bit over 1/4 of an inch. And the more you work with it, the more you'll pick your favorite length and loop size. I have found that this works really well with these pliers. So now I'm going to come right here to the very end, and I'm going to grasp the very end, and as you can see, it's just a little ways up the pliers. That's the size loop I like best. But my pliers are on the very, very end of the wire. If you can see that. See, it's on the very end of the wire. Or as close to the end as you can get and still turn it without it slipping off, like so. Up just a little more. Now some people also dip their round pliers in the Tool Magic. I don't like doing that with the round ones. I prefer to just use them as they are. I have a hard time getting the loops off the pliers if they're dipped in Tool Magic, off the round pliers. Okay, so I've made a loop. See if you can see that. It's gone a little haywire on me. See, it's gotten a little bent there. Easy enough to fix. That's what I like about working with wire. I'm just going to straighten everything out. I'm mashing it with my flat pliers. See? Voila. A little bit of mash there. And I have a very nice little circle there to start with. Okay. So now I'm going to put my bead on here. Just like so. Just fit the bead on. Okay. And now I'm going to hold this loop like so with my flat pliers, and I'm just going to take my thumb and finger here because I want to bend this one as close to the bead as I can. So I'm just going to use my finger to bend it so I get a 90-degree angle there. Now, unlike when we were making the earrings, I'm gonna trim this before I make the loop. If I were wrapping it like when we made these earrings here in the last video, if you can see that, see how that one's wrapped around the top, I'd want that long tail, but since I'm just making a plain loop this time, I want to trim it before I make the loop. So I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to make sure that that angle is right at the end of the ruler. I'm going to take my pliers, go just a little beyond 1/4 inch there, and cut that end off. Okay. And now I'm going to take my round pliers again on the end and try to, well, come on, get it on there without slipping off. And see how I'm just twisting back over. Now I gotta twist my pliers around so I can grab a hold and go all the way around. Come on. There we go, all the way around. And you can see I've got another loop there, but it has also bent a little bit. Easy enough to fix. Just get it with my pliers there. See, now it's all nice and flat. Now what I like to do is take a second set of pliers, flat pliers, so that these two loops are both going in the same direction. Just kind of even them up like that. There we go. There. So now I have a bead with a loop on either end. There you go. And of course, if you're putting more beads on a section than this, you'll want to start with something bigger than 2 inches. Maybe 3 or 4 inches, depending on the size of beads or how many you're putting on there. As you can see, even with 2 inches, I ended up cutting off almost 1 inch of wire. But it gives me that little extra leverage with feeding things on and bending the wire. So there you go. There's a simple one.